Okay, first of all, Debbie, your name
Debbie Riddle,
and state representative.
State Representative, District 150.
Tell me a little bit about this. You're part of this bill last session, also the part of 2013. When it first came out in 2013, what was meant by it, and what were they trying to accomplish at the first time around with it?
It was a very simple intent to help law enforcement capture the folks that are on the internet that are trolling for minors, and they're predators, and it's dangerous. It's very dangerous for our children, and it's to help law enforcement get these folks.
Then they made a little bit of a change in 2014 or in 2015 rather. Because of the law, tell me a little bit about what the change was, or what was required because of the change.
I think it was just a clarification of the wording, so that there would be no mistake with the intent. The intent of the law has not changed at all, but there did need to be a little bit of clarification there regarding whether it would actually be a minor on there, or if it was someone in law enforcement pretending to be a minor, if you will. And so that is where a little bit of the fog settled in, if you will. But I truly believe that the intent of the law was clear, and I think that the bill as a whole was quite clear even to start with. It's not uncommon to go in, and if it needs a little bit of tweaking from one session to another session, to do that. But and that's what we did with this. But clearly the intent is to protect our children.
When a bill comes up like this and you discover just a little bit the wording isn't quite right, what do y'all normally do on something like that?
Well, when the wording isn't quite right and the bill is already passed and signed into law, well, then the following session we go in, and we have what we call a cleanup bill, where we just go in and kind of do the tweaking and a little bit of the cleanup. It's usually not anything major. It's just a little bit more clarification.
What about during session, though, when something like this when the law comes up, when it's first brought up, and you're looking through it, and wait a minute, the language, what do you really mean by this, or what are you trying to say by this? What do y'all do on something like that?
Well, when we are in the process of debating a bill, if you will, and there might be, we want to make sure that everyone understands the intent of the bill, then it's not uncommon for one legislator to go to the back mic while the author of the bill, that legislator, is at the front mic, and ask questions, and then ask the speaker to please reduce that exchange, to please reduce that to writing and be put in the journal for legislative intent.
So do you think there's still some tweaking that needs to be done on this bill again, or do you think it's right where it should be now?
I think it is right where it needs to be right now. We tweaked it a little bit this last session. I think it was basically fairly okay to start with, but you can't hardly find a diamond that doesn't look a little better with a little bit of polish on it, polishing it. So I think that this last session we tightened it up a little, but the intent was clear from the beginning. And so that intent is not ambiguous.
Okay, go ahead.
Legislative intent is really critical. And in this particular bill, I think the legislative intent was not ambiguous at all. And I can tell you, the intent was regarding the kids. I'm a grandmother of 10. And it is incumbent upon all of us, especially the legislators, the lawmakers. That's got to be our number one focus, our number one job, and that is to make sure that the safety and security of our Texans is well established, especially our children.